The Solomon Islands is a Pacific archipelago of over 1,000 islands southeast of New Guinea. Many of the islands are small and remote, and as a result, there is a huge diversity of languages and traditions throughout the Solomons. Lobelia, now living in Launceston, grew up in a simple village lifestyle on Munda, one of the 6 main islands. At the end of her time at school, the Solomons experienced significant turmoil and tribal conflict, which led to international, including Australian, police intervention. Once stability returned, Lobelia joined the local police, later working in the Maritime Division. During this time, she came to Launceston for training at the Australian Maritime College, and it was here that she met Craig, her future husband. Later they would marry, and she moved to Launceston in 2017. Like many migrants to Tassie, Lobelia has made a major career change and now runs her own gardening business rather than chasing crooks.
I grew up in a village called Kindu. Kindu is a village in Munda. Munda is like a suburb of some sort, a bit bigger, with several different villages to form that bigger community. So yes, I grew up in Kindu village with my paternal grandparents. It's near the shore, 5 or 10 meters from the sea. That's what we grew up in, near the sea, bush, not too far from the house as well.
And what was the village like? Like, what kind of community was it?
The village that I grew up in back in the 80s and 90s is fairly small compared to today, because it's a bit isolated, I would say. The next village is about 250 meters from us.
Okay.
So we're fairly secluded at the end where the road ends.
Okay.
And then that's it, no more people on the other side of us. So we are just living on our own at the end.
When you were growing up, was it a kind of a traditional place where people had been living the same way for a long time? Yeah.
Yes. I think that's where my grandparents moved in the 1950s and settled there until they passed away. So it's more like a family home, not different. It's more like a nuclear family setting, which is not many first cousins and second cousins and aunties and uncles living nearby. It's just grandparents and us. Only one uncle that is not married, so he decided to live with his parents.
Okay. What are your best memories or your strongest memories of growing up there?
Swimming in the sea, fishing, going to the islands, going to the bush with mum and dad, growing veggies, and help look after my younger siblings. When my mom and dad are going out and we have to stay home with the little ones, make sure that they are fed and looked after before they arrive, or something like that, little things. As I've said, that the village we lived in is really at the end of the road, and the primary school we go to is about an hour walk.
Oh, wow.
Or 50 minutes to an hour walk from where we are. Later we found some shortcuts through the villages so that we can reduce the time a little bit to go to school, but walking. We have to walk and meet other students, and then a group of us walking there. So that's the primary school I grew up, and then the secondary school is on an island separated from the village where I grew up in. So we can travel by canoe, dugout canoe,
Yeah, right.
to go there. So it's a boarding school. So that's why I started back in Solomons, we use Form 1 to Form 6, like Year 7 to Year 12 here in Australia. I live on the campus and in school with a few other girls. We have a few matrons and a few teachers who look after us. But I can remember that when I first got there, every weekend my parents visited me, which is good.
Okay.
I think they miss me, or I even miss them too, but they will just cook food and bring food, mostly every Sunday. I think it's an hour by boat dugout canoe, it's not the outboard motor engine, you paddle. So it's about an hour to paddle to that school. So it's not far, but we are not allowed to run away from school.
Was it a small island then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does that mean there weren't lots of things to do? You just had to concentrate on school?
Yeah, I would say it's not small. We can grow veggies in there. I think it's a bit wider and higher from the sea that the school can grow veggies and do other stuff like coconut. There's a few sports ground that the school created on coral.
Okay.
that keep us busy. But it was on an island.
And what was sort of your routine at school? Like how being at boarding school, when did you have to get up? What were your routines?
Yes, I can remember the first day. The bell rang early in the morning, 5:30, and then the generator boys, the older high school age students, turned on the generator, cranked the generator to give us light so we can get ready. And then 6 o'clock breakfast. We have to walk to the dining hall, had breakfast, boring tea and crackers, not so healthy. And then get back to the dormitory, get ready, get the books, look at the timetable, what books we need to bring, and go to class. So we went to class from, I think, 8 to 10:30. We had a break. And then went back to school, and 12, we had lunch, I think 30 minutes or 45 minutes lunch. Back to school, and then finish about 2 or 3, I think. And after that, there are other programs, which it can be at the work session. We have to go and work in the plantation. Some go to the bush to collect firewood.
Okay.
Because that's what we use, cook on the fire to feed the students. I don't know, about 200, 300 students. After work session, they will say, okay, sports. Mm-hmm. So they go to whichever sports they organize, mostly soccer, netball, volleyball. Yeah, so they kept us busy.
Yeah.
In the evening, we have study times after dinner until, I think, 10 o'clock. The bell rang again. That means the light's going to go off. Turn the generator off to save fuel because it ran on diesel.
Yeah.
Which is expensive, but I think, So they have to turn off the lights and nobody's allowed to make any more noises. All lights. And we don't have electricity after that. So we live on kerosene lanterns that we have to turn them on at really low so that the matron next door is not going to see us. Mm-hmm. So that we can read and study and do extra things. Kindu village, as I said, is big, like a whole suburb of North Hobart, kind of. So different family live in different blocks, just few boundaries of flowers and flower hedges separating them, and they are all related.
Okay.
So they are all related to each other. Like that's on my mother's side of the family. So when you go around, you talk to people, they know who you are and they know everybody. The time, it's not many houses, so you can count all the houses.
And is there like a chief or a head of the village who sort of makes decisions?
Yes, we had a chief at that time growing up. I remember him really well. So he's the person who makes decisions, settle disputes and problems between, clans and families.
What was the thing that maybe you enjoyed most about living in your village?
Being a child. Compared to nowadays, they are concentrating on mobile phones and TV screens and things. We don't have that. We don't even have electricity in the village. So we spend most of the time learning about what surrounds us growing up. Learn about the names of the trees, the fish, the insects, the birds. And learn about the name of the islands that we can see from our village, and learning to grow up and learn how to cook and prepare food, meal, learn how to weave from coconut leaves and all these things that we use every day. Yeah.
And is it and so does everyone grow their own food there as well?
Yes, I think that's the only thing that, people grow. There's not many shops. So shops are far away. It's further from where we grow up. The shops are near where the airport is, which is a fair bit of walk. We don't have buses. So people grow their own food and fish free from the ocean, collect seashells as a source of protein. So for most food are from the gardens.
And have things changed much since that time?
Yeah, definitely changed. Kids still rely on food from the shop, and they know about the snacks. If you give them veggies, they don't like them. Rice would be the best, or noodles and things like that, they will want to eat. So it changed a lot.
Yeah.
I went as far as year 12, and at that time, it's in the year 2000, and that's when Solomon Island had the ethnic tension, the tribe war between two islands, and there's not much happening at that time, so it's like everything's halted. Like, okay, what am I going to do after high school? Because most of the colleges and training colleges and opportunities for employment are at the capital, not much in our province, village settings, really low. And then that's where the thing happened in the capital. So it's like for 3 years, I just stayed home. We're doing nothing after high school until Ramsey, which is a regional assistant mission to Solomon Islands, came to help with the law and order.
Yeah, and that was like Australia and New Zealand, wasn't it?
And a few other Pacific islands. So those other 3 years I just stayed home and be just like, I don't know, in the village doing what, I don't know, older daughter would do, help mom and dad doing gardening and fishing and housework and without any job.
Yeah. So that's the benefit of living in a place where you're self-sufficient. You can still, you at least can feed yourself, even if you don't have a job.
Yeah, but then I thought that I'm old enough to have a job to help my mom and dad. But then I couldn't do much because there are 8 of us in the family, and the rest of them are still in primary and high school. Mom and dad didn't have full-time job. They just grow veggies, bring something from the ocean, from the sea, sell them at the market to get school fees.
Okay.
And that's how we managed to go to school. But at that time, the school fees are cheaper. So I think they managed okay.
So what did you do after that 3 years?
So towards the end of those 3 years, the regional assistant mission helped the Solomon Islands, Royal Solomon Island Police Force recruit new police people because the ethnic tension ruined some of those older police officers, corrupted them, they're involved in, so they have to be fired, and then they need new police officers. So me and my younger sister, which we already finished high school at the time, decided to apply to join the police.
Okay.
So yes, after a few years of waiting and the recruitment process, we managed to get in, but I went in first, joined the police force in 2005.
What attracted you to a career in the police force?
It's just because of free entry. I don't have to pay fee or anything to join the academy. And I thought, it's about time I do something to help my family, my mom and dad.
Yeah.
So that's what made me went in and joined. It's not my dream. Didn't really enjoy it, honestly.
Yeah.
But because it's a form of employment. So I just did it for 12 years.
Okay. And so what sort of things did you have to do as a police officer in the Solomon Islands?
For the first few months, we're at the academy learning about the general scope of policing. And then when we graduated, went out we have probation for 2 years. And we have to go from one unit to another to learn about the general policing duties. After 2 years, whoever's confirmed, whoever didn't perform, we have to extend their probation and things like that. But I managed to graduate and get onto my confirmation, work in the general policing duties, dealing with criminals mostly.
Okay.
And footbeat patrol the community, do community policing, traffic controls, a lot of things. And then, I was bored because I don't know. And then I thought maybe I should apply to another department because I'm bored with this. So I ended up at the Police Maritime Unit, which work on the patrol boats, patrolling the ocean, because Solomon Islands is an island nation and we have to keep our boundaries. So I worked there for 5 years with the Police Maritime.
What did that role involve? Like, what kind of criminals were you dealing with?
Foreign fishing vessels from all over the world who came into Solomon Islands, registered their fishing license to fish, but some don't always follow rules.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure, if we manage to get to some of them, we boarded the boats and checked their license and their conditions of what they are doing. If they are doing it right, tick them off. If they're not, tow them back to the capital and charge them.
And was that a busy job?
Yes. It's busy, but it's a little bit enjoyable, much better than working on the shore. Well, I managed to see most of the islands that I haven't been able to travel to, because we have too many islands, about 1,900 something islands in the Solomon Islands. So I enjoyed it, seeing new places and meeting new people.
And what do you think was the biggest thing that you learnt or that you remember from doing that job?
Yeah, I think mostly going out to the outer islands and see how the people live, because some of the islands are low atolls, very low, and some of them are about 50 meters wide, and people still living there, and see the challenges that they have. They don't have enough land to grow veggies and fruit. They live on coconuts and fish, which is not a very healthy diet. So some good and bad experiences. But I think I enjoyed. And I thought that I used to complain growing up. We didn't have much. But then compared to what I've seen from those other islands, I think I would say that I grew up in a much better place, much better island, bigger and higher. We have mountains and we have rainforest and all this.
Are there different languages on the different islands?
Yes, different languages in different islands. I think... Not too sure how many of them, but maybe more than 100. And there are different dialects of different languages as well. But
But can you understand each other?
No, I don't.
No, right?
Because some of them are totally different. So that's why we need that pidgin, that we communicate to each other from different island and languages through that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So do you have the language of your village and pidgin as well?
Yes. We grow up speaking Roviana, which is the mother tongue language I grow up with, that my parents speaks. And we go to school, we learn English. My dad doesn't want us to learn the pidgin because he thought it's a terrible language. It's a broken English, and if we want to improve our English, don't speak that language because it doesn't have grammar. But I would say that, he's true. So I went to primary school and high school. That's when people from other languages came to that same school and try and communicate. And when I started to learn that, okay, that's another language. But I learned it. And we speak it with other islands from different languages. Okay, when I was still working with the Police Maritime, because the patrol boats are Australian defence funded, so every time the boats come to Australia for maintenance, which is in Townsville back in those days, I think now in Kent somewhere, the crew have to come to the Australian Maritime College here in Launceston to study or do refresher courses and things like that. So I came with the crew, or a few of us came to train several times. And then I met Craig. because of the Solomon Island connection. He was invited there to have barbecue with us. But yeah, then we went back to work, and then got married a few years later.
So tell me about when you first met. How did that happen? And
well, we have another family who have been to the Solomon Islands. They are the one who invited us, and they invited him because he was born there. So yeah, we met at the time. Nothing much happened. It's nothing obvious, I guess. But then, that's how we kept in touch. But at that time, Facebook wasn't, I think emails, that's the only cheapest way to communicate, because phone calls to the Solomon and back is expensive. But we kept in touch over the years, and got married in 2017.
And so you kept in touch, but did you meet up again after that?
Twice after we first met, I came back, and we still catch up with that family that introduced us.
And what made you decide that it should be longer term?
He asked me out, and then I laughed at him. I said, how is this possible? Because 2 different countries, the distance and hope, I don't know, how will it work? So then I thought about it, and then I think maybe it would be much better to live in Australia. Life would be much better compared to where I grew up or where I worked. And I don't know, I just want to try it, because I visited them when I came for trainings, and I know, this is much better.
Okay.
So when those things I thought about them, and I thought maybe I'll give it a try. So yes, I did.
Yeah. And do you remember when the first time you came to Launceston? What were your first impressions?
Yes, Launceston, beautiful. I think the history of the place is kind of, I really admire the old history of Launceston, even Tasmania as a whole, that are kept, looked after, well preserved. Like for some of us who have never seen things from 200 years ago, managed to come and see them. Nowadays, it's still there. But that's really good.
And what were some of the challenges for the first period of settling in Launceston?
Making new friends, and the climate.
Yeah.
The cold climate takes years for me to adjust. But thanks to my mother-in-law, she's a good knitter. She knitted me jumpers before I arrived, so I managed to keep warm. And then, making new friends, because like in-laws, most of them are down here in Hobart, and we live up in Launceston, so traveling up and down in a bus is expensive. And then trying to make new friends up there, it's hard. Mm-hmm. And they're all busy. Few people that I've known, like the family that introduced us, Michael and Mary Flood, they live far away. And it's not always easy to walk to a house, knock on the door, and ask a friend, what do I do? Because Craig's mostly at work and I'm home alone. And it's hard to be on your own when you don't have family and friends around. But slowly I made friends, meet new people.
How did you get to know people? What were some of the ways that you got to make friends?
The first people that I remember making friends with are church people, my husband's friends, and then slowly get to know them. And then trying to find a job, going to Catholic Care and a few other places, Migrant Resource Centre, for them to help me find a job or do trainings, because whatever certificate I got back home are not recognized here.
Yeah.
So yes, by doing that, I met few other immigrants from other countries like Philippines, Malaysia, Africa. So managed to get to know a few more.
Were you looking for work from when you came here, and what sort of work?
Yes, that's the challenge, because I promised myself I'm not going to enroll back in the police.
Okay.
If I got here, which I didn't. And then I don't know what what job would suit me. Like I've spent most of my years after high school just in the policing, and that's all I know, dealing with naughty people. So I've trying out doing barista course in case I will make coffees at the cafes and things like that. But I don't drink coffee. So I don't know how good or how bad my coffee making was. And then I just decided to give up, and I thought, okay. And because of my visa, it expires after 9 months, and I have to apply again for the partner's visa. And that's another 2 years, possible, 2 years to wait. Because every time I go to TAFE, they have to check my visa. And then they told me I have to pay international students fee, which is expensive.
Yeah.
So I didn't do any training at all until my partner's visa was granted, and I managed to enroll in horticulture course because I thought I grew up gardening. Maybe I can do that here, but because plants are totally different and weather, climate's different, so I decided to learn again. And I'm enjoying it. Nowadays, I run my own gardening business.
When you were studying, what did you think you would do with that knowledge and qualification?
At first, I had no idea. I had just attended the first one certificate just to familiarize myself with what to do if I ever grow something on the balcony at the time. But then, with the help of some of my TAFE friends that do the same course, they kind of say, come on, let's do the set 3 next year. I mean, they kind of pushed me, helped me, and encouraged me, and then at that time I make new friends too. So I've never thought that I will have a gardening business, but I was thinking, I like garden centers. Maybe one day I might work there. So that knowledge that I learned might help, but it's like, I don't know, doesn't give me anything at that time when I was starting of what I am supposed to do with that skill. But I thought it's just to get knowledge.
What are some of the maybe cultural values and traditions that influenced you growing up, and what maybe was different in Tasmania?
I grew up in a very tightly knitted family, ties with mostly my first cousins, and like respecting the elders is one main thing that I grow up learning. Like my dad and mom have to tell us, you do this, you do that. You don't have to, don't disrespect the elders, especially those who are older than us. So they are all elders. If they are my father and mother's generation, they are older or something like that. And then we help look after them, and learning new things, like learning traditional way of cooking, learning the traditional way of dressmaking, which nowadays is more modern, or weaving, especially with mats and hats and fans and things that we use back home, and baskets and things. Yeah, those are the things that I learned. But when I came here, there are no coconut trees, there are no pandanus, palms, so that I can use to weave with. So I thought, okay, maybe about time to learn something different that I can learn here. So learn knitting, crochet, and things like that. My mother, I got smacked many times.
Okay.
Don't swear at people. Don't disrespect a person by you're talking back to a person. We never talk back to a mom, because every time we say something and trying to be heard, I think she thought it's talking back, and we got punished for that. But somehow I think my mom need to listen to us. But that's what I found out, that growing up, the mom said, no. When there are visitors coming, we are not allowed to be there to stare and watch at people, older people. We have to go play, go do this, go do that. Well, the older people sit down and talk. But I don't know. Mothers back in the islands are very strong and tough and firm.
Now that you've been living in Tasmania for a few years now, what has changed about you, do you think? Has your the way you see things, the way you see maybe the Solomon Islands, has that changed?
I think think it's slow. I didn't think that I've given up everything that I grow up with, whatever, I don't know, character or lifestyle I came with 8 years ago hasn't changed much, but I'm observing few things that I thought are important to take on board, are important things to learn, and compare them with what I grow up with, and maybe, yes, some that I found in Australia are good as well, or even better in few ways.
What's maybe an example of something that you found was good in Australia? Or bad? maybe something good, something bad.
I'm not saying it's like bad, but I've seen in other ways Australians are helping other younger generation with responsibilities, like putting your mom and dad who are old in the aged care. I found it a bit strange when I first came, because back home we look after them at home. Like, we're returning the favor of raising us up. They didn't put us away in childcare all year round. They raised us up. So when I first came here, that they left them there and said, why don't they just build a room, put a room or a house in part of their building so that the parents can stay and not put them out there. So that's a bit of a shock, but I'm not saying it's bad, but at least some of the people need help and they have their own family, so they needed someone, experts, to look after them health-wise and, some other factors. We don't have those aged care facilities, but we tried our best to look after the older people as much as we can by providing them the food, the shelter, clean, but I still think that back home we are still very low in hygiene and whatever things that older people need to give them a bit more enjoyable life till they leave.
And has there been anything in Tasmania, especially when you first came here, that surprised you or that you didn't expect?
The first thing is the racism, which I thought that, like back home, I don't always hear. I think because most of us are same colored people, living the same lifestyle, so we don't really compare us color-wise to others. But when I first came here, that's one thing I have experienced. Like, I walked and then younger people in the car shouted, "Go home."
Right.
And I thought, okay, it's just me walking. It's not somebody else there shouting at. And I thought, I'm trying to make this place a home as well as you, and I don't know why you did that. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't say anything, and then you decided to do that. But yeah, I kind of find that strange that some people try and put others down because of maybe how they look.
And have you met or connected with many other people from Pacific Islands, or particularly Solomon Islands?
Yes, over the last few years, when I didn't have friends to go to, I joined the Connected Women group that is organized by the Red Cross of Tasmania, I think. I think they have one here in Hobart, but up in Launceston we have that all women from all over the world who are there living in Launceston, trying to get connected and know each other, where they come from, where we come from. So yeah, I have attended that and met new people from everywhere, including Pacific Islands, Samoa, Papua New Guinea. Yeah, not many Pacific Islanders living permanently, but yeah, we managed to connect.
Apart from maybe family, which everyone misses, what do you miss about the Solomon Islands? Or is there something that you would like to bring over here from the Solomon Islands?
Firstly, when I came, I miss the food, because food's different. And then I came, I don't even know what food are there in the supermarket and how to cook them. When you go to the cafes and restaurants, I will always order what he ordered, which is so annoying. I look back and I thought, that is funny, but it's to be safe. I said, I'll get what you get. But because I couldn't find any food from the Pacific or from the Solomon Islands, during those times. Didn't get familiar with anything, but now I get them from few of them from Asian shops around, and I'm so happy that I can get them now. So I can get food from the Pacific or the Solomons if I crave. I want to eat them.
What would be some examples of traditional Solomon Islands food?
Cassava, yam, taro, those are the root crops, and the seafood. Similar, we have some oysters, but the fish, especially the fish, we have a wide range of fish to choose from back home. And when you come here, it's like, oh, what is blue grenadier? What is flathead? I miss tuna or things like that.
Have you adapted your cooking a little bit to living in Tasmania?
A little. I'm terrible at following recipes. So yes, I think most of my cooking at home, because I'm cooking for just two of us, I just throw everything in a pot.
Okay.
So this is how we do it. Everything in there, one pot. Put coconut cream in it, and that's it. Feed the whole family. Like in Australian cooking, you have to steam the veggies separate. You roast the meat, other potatoes separate, and you put them together. But in the Solomons or the Pacific way, we just put the meat, the veggies, the cabbages, everything in that umu or the motu, cook it in one big bunch.
And share with the
rest of the family.
So at the moment, if I understand, you're running your own business?
Yes,
that's
gardening
right.
business, helping people who really need some help with their gardens, mostly weeding, pruning, planting things and digging or lifting heavy stuff. I enjoyed it because most of the people I helped are the elderly, living independently, and they still love gardening. So working with them, talked with them, I learned a lot of things from them. Because I said, I don't have grandparents that I grew up, now they're gone, but listening to the experiences in life and how they lived in Australia all their life, well, most of them, it's interesting that they have lived a good life. They've experienced all the changes happening in Australia, or even in Launceston, and they can tell. I've enjoyed that.
What would you say is maybe the most interesting thing you've learnt from one of these people?
I think some of them don't grow up in the city. They grow up in the country town out there in the farms and have been working on the farm with their parents to live, like grow their own veggies, milk their own cows for the milk for breakfast and things like that. They grew up the hard way, almost similar to what I've grown up. And I thought, we are similar. They light the fire to heat up the hot water for bath or wash their clothes, which is what we grow up doing. And not much. They say they don't have much to do with electricity back then. And I thought, okay. I didn't realize that life here in Australia was like that before technology and everything. But back in the Solomons, some rural areas are still living like that.